we can hear you. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, I see Commissioner Givens, Commissioner Uri. That's 3 commissioners. We can go ahead and get started. Can you please bring up the agenda for me tonight?
Yes.
Thank you. Can I ask in the future, when we have a meeting, can you just already have the agenda already up on the screen?
Sure.
Thank you. All right, so it is January 11th, 2023. The time is 7:01 p.m. We're gonna go ahead and get started. If you are not speaking, please mute, because we are getting feedback. All right, we're gonna start off with the roll call. Starting with Ward 1, Commissioner Young. Commissioner Young, you will need to unmute yourself. All right, I'm gonna move on. I can see you, but I can't hear you. Ward 2, Commissioner Armache.
Present.
Thank you. Ward 3, Commissioner Wheatley is present. Ward 4, Commissioner Givens.
Givens present.
Thank you. At-large Commissioner Uri.
Commissioner Uri is present. Thank you.
Thank you. We have all 5 commissioners present and accounted for. We will go ahead and get started. All right, so next on our agenda tonight is approval of our minutes and financials for the month of December 2022. There are 3 attachments. First one looked like it was the ARPA funding, ARPA spending, which
One moment.
I just got a chance to look at that document. That print is so fine. It is so small. And I tried to blow it up and I still could barely see it.
Okay, well, let me try to blow it up on my screen. Because I have the Excel. One moment.
I had a question about number 23, where it says gazebo and town hall improvements. It's 30,000. Is Todd on the line?
Should be.
Yes, I'm here. I'm listening.
Okay, what is this 30,000 for the gazebo and town hall improvements? The gazebo should have already been paid for out of last year's budget.
So my understanding was it was something. Yeah, do you mind scrolling down, Carol, so I can see?
That's the biggest I can make it, otherwise it'll go off the screen. What line are we
Yes.
looking at?
We slide up, stop there. That's good. Yeah, so in conversations with the town manager, we were under the impression that agreement had been made that that was going to be a budgeted line item for the ARPA funding. Now, obviously, this is a flexible budget. We can revisit and revise. But that was the direction we thought we heard.
Yeah, it
so
was that, it was
no.
for the,
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that we had already purchased the gazebo. It just hadn't been installed. I think we had purchased the equipment prior to ARPA. The 30,000 that the 30,000.
Hold on. Let me so let me lead this off. I think what it was the 30,000 was talking about the town hall renovations, right? But then I think probably, if I'm not mistaken, Greg can correct me if I'm wrong. I think we were looking at 5,000 of that to install electricity as an option, but then if in the event that we didn't get any funding for the solar, what do you call those things? Grants or stuff like that. So I believe that's why they had gazebo in there, because at some juncture, you're going to need to make a decision whether it's going to be hardwired or solar or something, but there's going to have to be some monies allocated to that, whether it be from a grant or from some type of other type of funding source. I yield back.
Okay, but even still, then there's not enough money, because we had said that we were gonna allocate 30,000 just for the town hall alone, to do the kitchen, the floors, the cabinets, the countertops. We had said we were allocating 30,000 for that. I know you had said it probably could come in around 28,000, but we said we just rounded up to 2,000 for any unforeseen expenses, because there's always little things that pop up. So if we're allocating 30,000 for the improvements at the town hall, you're gonna need another 5,000 for that gazebo.
Well, I mean, that's still an option, and maybe perhaps we can just scratch that out and just discuss trying to go after or make determination whether we're going to go after a grant to try to power that, or whether we're going to put that in next year's budget or and allocate it. I think it's more important, it's more realistic that we can move forward with the town project first, and then we can get the other projects done after that.
I agree. I think you're absolutely right. So let's take that off. Let's take gazebo off for now, and we'll just keep the town hall improvements at 30,000. Anybody else agree or object?
Well, there was some discussion about increasing that based on some more information that the town manager and I had provided some information. The town manager was looking at some more information to give the commission an option of what it is they wanted to do. But I'm not sure where she's at with that as far as providing that to the commission.
More money for the building improvements?
Yeah, so the option was, if you're going to, there's some thought in there, in regards to, I think we had talked about this, and I think we should probably talk about it further at a work session as opposed to town, but increasing the amount a little bit more for new cabinets and perhaps granite, something that's more at this point, because we have so much surplus and ARPA money that if we're ever going to get it done new, then this is probably the time. If we were looking to save a buck, then we could go the other direction. But that's still up to the commission. I think the commission, the town manager's position was that she just wanted to provide the information and then take that and go forward with whatever the commission ultimately decided, but giving them the best information possible to go forward. If I'm correct, right, Carol?
That is correct.
I
do
yield back.
think it warrants a discussion at the work session.
I yield back. Thank you.
Well, this is my first time hearing about it was going to be an increase from 30,000.
No, we talked about it when you were here, and it was just, but let's just talk about the work session, and she could be better. We'll all be better informed at that time. So, thank you.
All right, any other questions in regards to the ARPA spending so far? Hearing none, are there any
Sorry, this is Commissioner Amarche. I do have a couple questions about I'm seeing the grant manager salary. It looks like there are closer to the bottom of the page. I'm seeing fiscal year 24, 25, 26, and 27 half year. That's what we're budgeting in for that through halfway through 27 from ARPA funds that we currently have. Is that correct? Is that what I'm understanding?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Did we ever get an accounting of how much ARPA money is actually going to people in the town?
yes. On this document, there are three columns that are shaded. One's public safety, one's aid to residents, and another one's government services. So the total for public safety is $53,008. Aid to residents is $98,526.66.
And what was the third one?
Government services, $256,070.62.
And what does that consist of and what does public safety consist of?
Well, each line item is identified, but public safety includes what we've expended ARPA money on is police vehicles, police computers,
I'm not seeing the categories, but so
okay,
it sounds like the category that's 98,000. What was that category called?
that was aid to residents.
Aid to residents. That's
Mhm.
more what I was trying to get at. So we've spent 98,000 out of. What's the
Correct.
total?
Correct.
The total is what?
98,526.66.
Out of a total of how much ARPA money have we received?
We received approximately 1.1 million.
So we've spent less than a
Okay.
tenth of that on aid to residents directly.
And to chime in, we've spent a total of 407,000 to date. So approximately 25% of that has been spent on aid to residents.
Gotcha. Thank you. Thank you. I guess that doesn't seem like maybe enough to me, and I'm wondering whether there are people asking for funds that we are not giving them, and it's sort of where we are on all that.
Well, I can comment on some of the programs we have. I know, like with the food gift card program, that has been very popular, and and that's what I was going to talk about today. Is it was established with you get the gift cards and it's one per household. So the question is, do we want to increase the opportunity for people to get food cards? Because we do have a number left, and there is definitely a need.
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea.
With the gas cards, that was really popular as well.
Right.
But the thing about it is and you can't make people come. I don't know. It's a lot of people did not avail themselves of those. The business relief program, not one business has availed itself of that program.
Right. But it seems like for households, the gas cards and the food cards, for lack of a better word, that would be, in my view, good to increase those.
All right, I'll make a note.
I think they have been popular and
And the other one is the family relief program to assist people with, arrearages, either in their mortgage, rent, or utilities. That has been very popular.
yeah, and that's a good one as well. Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know how many, people have not gotten it when they've asked for it. Do you know?
Well, I can give you the numbers outside the meeting of how many people got it, but I can't tell you who got it, who didn't get it. Everyone who asked for it and they meet the criteria, they get it. We don't turn anybody away. The criteria is pretty broad,
Okay.
So.
Okay, well, it just seems that it would be a good idea to increase the other two categories, and if there's still a need in that category, that would be good as well.
Okay.
So okay, so I'm all for, giving away a bunch of money. But, let's look at, some things that are truly going to be beneficial to the overall aspect of the town. One of the things that we have discussed in years past, and there was no funding for it, but now it seems like there's some type of funding is available. We should consider having some type of opportunity and for home improvement for those people who are underserved, financially underserved, and can't afford those repairs, to be able to have a funding source and to be able to draw from. And a lot of it's, I'm just basically talking about the upkeep of their house, the external aspect of it, whether it be painting the house or, putting new uplighting or whatever, and so on and so forth. And I think that also contributes to the welfare of the town, as well as their personal property, because it helps benefit everyone, and it also benefits that individual. But I'm talking about based on a financial need, though, not just anybody who wants it, available to them. So I yield back.
So let me address that. At the next work session, because we had talked about a facade improvement program. So because the business relief program was not being utilized, to possibly use the money for that, a facade improvement program for both businesses and residents. So we will discuss that at the next work session.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
You're
Thank
welcome.
This is Commissioner Yuri. I'm not sure how much flexibility we have with this, but I know that we've been talking about, really just making Cottage City look better. I mean, that really affects how our residents feel about the city. So I think that we should kind of start looking at, we've always been talking about like ways to kind of improve Bladensburg Road. I think we should try to put our minds a little bit more to how we can improve that, making sure the businesses know, because I don't think everybody in those businesses, they don't really live there. I don't know if they're checking their mail, but just making sure they really know what the availability is and how we could work with them to improve the look of Cottage City, and maybe even potentially bring more business toward Cottage City.
So promoting and
So improving the look, especially of like of the main sector, Bladensburg Road, and that would be the big thing for me.
I think what she's saying is it's regards to the facade improvement program, and what she's basically saying is that we probably need to go back out, and I think they did it initially, but we need to probably go back out and send a representative from the town to go by each individual business, let them know what the opportunities are for them and what we're trying to do, and get their intake and tell them what programs we have available, funding sources we have available to improve the property, so that it will make the town look better, and then ascertain from them possibly what do they think what can be done in regards to a partnershiping with the town to make that West End look better as well.
Exactly. And how we
I think
can
that's-
strategically work with them step by step to kind of reach certain goals, because it doesn't look good and it hasn't looked good for a long time. We have businesses that are just abandoned, and it's just like that, and it never improves, and it's been like that for years. So I think we just need to put more effort into working with those businesses, working with the property owners, and getting some of this stuff done and scratched off the list finally.
We probably ought to put both of these things.
Excuse me, Ms. Richardson.
yes.
I believe you and Tracy were already working on a program for the facade improvements.
Correct. And we've gotten that to the point, I think we can present it at the next work session. So
Yeah.
I think what Commissioner Yuri, if I'm hearing correct, you're talking about dialogue and outreach, letting them know what's available to them and having that dialogue to find out what they may need as well.
Primarily, but I think also we need to have some initiatives and some drafts ourselves on what we're going to present them and what we want it to look like, so that, you know, we can give our business plan or our, you know, our scheme. You know, I don't think we have that. I don't think we really know. We always say we want to improve the facade, and we, you know, we mow the lawn, we cut grass, and then we send letters to the business owners, but we don't really have a plan of what we want it to look like, how we want to fix it up. What is the unified effort going to be? How are we going to bring it together? I think we need to kind of work on that. Maybe we need to bring somebody in who can help us with that, to contract it out to a company who can kind of, you know, bring it together for us. Maybe some concepts, some creative concepts on how we could do that. Ms. Richardson?
Yeah, I'm just kind of sorry for the silence. I'm just processing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we can have conversations, follow-up conversations on
Yeah.
this if you want to meet. Mhm.
Yes, let's, you and I have follow-up conversations, just so I make sure I understand what you're saying. Because I think we can have a vision and goals, but the bottom line when it comes to private property, it's incumbent upon those business owners. So I think what you said in terms of outreach and having a dialogue, and like what Commissioner Givens said, letting them know what funding sources are available can help us towards improving the look of Bladensburg Road. I think that's a start.
Yes, but we've
and-
also like in the past discussed like maybe we can have similar signs, or, you know, it's up to us to kind of, you know, mandate how we want it to look and what the standard for that sector is going to be. You know, if we need to be, because we need to be, I think we need to be firmer, like much more on some of these businesses. We just send letters out, they don't upkeep the property, you know, and it's just, we're very lax on what the standard is. So I think we should, for one, like be firm, like be more concise and more directed about what the standard is, and then come up with something. If it's like, you know, signs or a kind of wall or fencing or something, just to make it look more uniform and to make it look better and to stick with those standards for that, you know, those properties.
Well, one thing that we are doing, we do have that new, I think it was the new ordinance we did in regards to abandoned buildings, where we're going to start finding them fees for having abandoned buildings or abandoned property. So we are doing something.
And you know what, Wanda, I do remember we are doing that, and that is a step forward, but maybe we need to do more. Just finding them is not necessarily, you know, always enough to get them moving. Maybe we need to talk about how we're going to kind of take over some of these things, or if even for some of these businesses, we might have to kind of put money toward helping them do it.
Well, we talked about that too.
Yeah. If they
So-
can't find the contractors, if they're not going to do the work, we can recommend us doing it, or we can just kind of put aside some of the funds for us to move it forward and to get it how we need it to be.
Ms. Richardson, how much longer do you and Tracy think you need for the program that you're gonna propose?
We'll have it available at the next work session.
Okay, well, can you incorporate the recommendations that Commissioner Uri is making as well?
Yes, and I will also follow up with Commissioner Uri as
Okay.
well.
you.
All right, any other questions in regards to the ARPA expenditures so far?
Commissioner Wheatley, can I ask just briefly, I know we don't have like a strict end date on our spending, but have you heard anything from some of the other towns or municipalities about like what that date could possibly be, or, you know, do we have like a time frame?
There is an end date on this. We do have to have the money spent by a certain time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right
What's the
now,
specific date?
I don't know
'Cause I
if
know-
it's 2026. I think it's fiscal year 26. We have to have it all spent, not just allocated.
Right, and it needs to be obligated by
Mhm.
FY 2024.
Yes.
Oh,
And,
wow, okay,
and
so
what
we
I've been
definitely,
hearing is that if we haven't spent the money by the due date, they may be looking to pull that money back or may make the municipalities reimburse or refund the money.
okay, so that means that we need to be looking at having some of this, and I'm willing, like Ms. Richardson, to come or to at least set aside some time to discuss this as much as we need. But it looks like if that's the case, 2024 is right around the corner. We should probably have some of these things like drafted by our budget meetings.
Well, that's why I asked for the spreadsheet so we can have a picture of where we are
Yeah.
right now. Because we have no clue, because we're not getting this information every month, which I think we should start getting this information on a monthly basis. It's part of our financials, so we should have it.
Especially right now while we're trying to get the budget together.
Right, and since we're making plans to meet and discuss our budget, we also need to be discussing the ARPA spending. The funding, this grant, we need to move on it. And again, like I've asked, we need to get input from the residents. I know we did the survey. I know the survey was online. I don't know where that data is. But we still need to hear from our residents because like Commissioner Young said, it doesn't appear that much money is going back into our residents. Like we're putting programs in place and we're buying equipment and we're fixing up the building. But other than the family relief program and the food cards and the gas cards, what have we done for the residents?
Yeah.
Well, I have a question, just, getting input from the residents, because so you all did the survey. So the question is, because, COVID is still here, or doing Zoom meetings specifically about ARPA, just to get input from residents. Is that something the commission is open to?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, I believe in our green team meeting, resident Denise Hamler had volunteered to go around and ask folks what they wanted to see happen in the town. Do you not remember that, Ms. Richardson?
I do not, but I guess my concern is I want to make sure that there's direct input to this commission from the residents. Maybe we do a flyer or something like that, as opposed to it being told to someone and being conveyed. I mean, Denise is great, but it's my view.
Also, it could be put in the newsletter plus flyers. I mean, that's how people found out about the gas and food cards through the newsletter and flyers. So we could do that for other things, asking what people think would be a good way to spend some of that money.
Where is the data from the survey?
I have not been able to locate it.
Did you ask Brittany?
Yes, I did. She was not able to locate it as well.
Well, the survey was online.
But did you use SurveyMonkey or what was used?
I don't remember if it was SurveyMonkey. I don't remember. But if it's online, you should be able to pull it up. That's what I'm saying. You should be able to locate it. I don't know if you have to go to the Civic Plus because it was on our website. Maybe they have a backlog, or maybe they have a backup. Maybe it's on a cloud somewhere. I don't know. But I know we did a survey online. And I know people did respond.
So what are people, in terms of what I said, is that something in terms of having a meeting even via Zoom or doing a mailer where people can give feedback, either mail it back or drop it at the town hall?
I think you should do both. I think you should do
Okay.
whatever it takes to get the information. Whether it's a Zoom, whether it's a newsletter, a flyer, somebody knocking on doors, whatever it takes to get the information, I think we should do it all.
Okay,
I don't think we should pick one over the other.
okay.
I agree.
And this, can I just say one more thing, Commissioner Wheatley? I know Commissioner Givens kind of recommended for home improvement. I don't know. I know we have a few, not the towers, but we have a few other kind of apartment buildings in Cottage City, and I'm not sure how much those property owners kind of know about any resources that we've offered, but I don't know what the condition is like in there. I think one time we discussed like maybe a roof that was collapsing or something along those lines. Like, I just want to make sure that those buildings kind of are aware, or the property managers are aware of the resources that we have for possible renovation or anything else.
Um,
Okay, can we go ahead and brainstorm offline and then get ready for the town, put that in the town work session?
Fine with me. Can we bring the agenda back up, please?
Yes, one moment.
There's no more discussion on the ARPA spending. We also need to approve the financials in the minutes from December. Were there any edits or comments for the December minutes?
I had one, unfortunately, given my computer situation, I don't have it in front of me, but somewhere near the beginning, there's a long paragraph. And it spells counsel, meaning lawyer, COUNCIL, and it should be COUNSEL. That's the only thing I noticed off the top of my head. And I'm sorry, I don't have it right in front of me right now.
Any other edits or comments?
For spelling of council.
Um, Probably down some from there. There it is. Under speed camera sites, second line near the end, spelled COUNCIL, change that to COUNSEL.
Okay,
That's the only thing I caught. There may be other things. And down at the top of the next page, fourth line down, it did the same thing.
okay. Thanks.
Did anyone else have any comments or edits?
No, thank you.
Okay, hearing none. Is there a motion to approve the December minutes?
So moved.
Is there a second? Is there a second to approve the December 2022 minutes? I will second. This is Commissioner Wheatley. The motion has been made by Commissioner Amashay and seconded by Commissioner Wheatley. Call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Givens, aye.
Marche, aye.
Young eye.
Wheatley, aye. Commissioner Yuri?
Commissioner Yuri, aye. My computer was frozen. Thank you.
No problem. Motion passes. Moving on to the financials for December.
My screen is locked.
Well, has anyone had a chance to look at the financials for December? Did anyone have any questions for Todd while we have him?
I'm sorry, I did not have time.
That's okay. Anyone else?
No,
Do we want to table approving the financials until we all have a chance to look at them again really good? Or do we want to go ahead and approve them without looking at them? Because I can honestly say I did not look at them either. I think we just got them, what? When did we get the financial report, Carol?
I think Monday.
Yeah, we just got it Monday. I
Why don't
definitely,
we put it off?
yeah, let's table the financials. Because no one's really had a chance to look at them. Also, Todd, is it possible to get the financials before Monday? Can we get them the week before the meeting?
Yeah, we shoot to have them done the Friday prior to the meeting. So that's our timeline to get
Mhm.
them to the town hall.
I don't think they came on Friday though, because we definitely didn't receive them till Monday.
I forwarded an email around from Friday.
Did you get the email, Miss Richardson?
No, because I sent him an email asking for them, so I don't know if I just didn't get it or it was after I left. I don't know.
Or maybe we should try for Thursday versus a Friday.
And it's a challenge depending on where the end of the month falls. So Thursday's gonna be tough. Can 100% agree to Friday.
Well, can it
Thursday
be
we'll do our
Friday
best.
before close of business?
Yeah,
Will that work for you, Miss Richardson? So you can get it to the commission so we could at least have the weekend to look at it?
Yes.
So maybe perhaps he should send it to not only Brittany, but perhaps Miss Richardson. Maybe he just sent it to Brittany by accident, and that's why it didn't get forwarded. So just make sure both of them get it. That'd be great. Thank you.
Well, it's my understanding that all financial documents are supposed to come to Carol anyway. She's supposed to be copied on them anyway.
Yeah.
Is that what's happening, Todd?
yeah.
Yes.
So Sonia sends it to Carol and myself. And I can have her include Brittany if that helps the communication, but yeah.
Yeah, that'll help.
Yeah.
Thank you. So we're gonna table December's financial approval. And we'll just make sure it's on next month's meeting. Okay, we can move on. What's next on the agenda? I don't have.
Public
any
comments.
Okay, do we have Pastor Crawford? Is he on?
He's
Yes, he
on.
was.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm here. Thank you.
Hi, how are you?
Fine. How are you doing?
Doing good, doing good. So, we're going to allow you to speak in regards to the upcoming event over at North Brentwood.
Yes, ma'am.
You want to tell us about this program?
Sure,
please?
absolutely. Ms. Richardson, if you could bring up the flyer and I'll just cover a few key points and then be happy to answer any questions that you may have. I want to first thank Commissioner Wheatley and the commissioners here in the town oh goodness, getting
Cottage
tired.
City.
Just been a long, long day.
It's
Cottage
Cottage City.
City. We're working on this initiative. I wanted to extend the invitation on behalf of Mayor Robinson of North Brentwood and Senator Augustine. This is an opportunity for you to be able to help your underemployed and unemployed residents, get them on track for livable wage opportunities. This is a unique opportunity where we're bringing together a proven provider, Employ Prince George's, with local municipalities to be able to help and bring the resources to your community. I know one of the concerns that Mayor Robinson has had over the years is that residents from this part of the town, of the county, have typically had to travel all over the county for assistance. And her goal was to begin to figure out ways to bring and leverage county resources and bring them to the community. This will be the first. When we do this and it's a success, and we believe it's going to be a success, it opens the door for other opportunities as well. During the workshop, during the open house, the Employ Prince George's will provide an overview of their services. They'll be able to answer questions. They will have staff on site to provide resource information. And what they're going to do, which I really like about them, is unlike a lot of providers that are very good at providing training, and once you've gotten the training, you're on your own. They're very good about sticking with you and helping ensure that no one gets lost. So what will happen is, with the people who've registered and participate in the training, Employ Prince George's is going to follow up with each of them, talk to them about their interests, help conduct an assessment of what their needs are, and then to help put them on the right track. Some people may just need access to immediate jobs. Others may want to upskill or change their career. So they're going to follow through and touch bases with everyone to ensure that no one gets lost. As an added bonus, we're going to have great food. We're going to have Seafood Boss. Truck is going to be there and is going to provide meals for people who register and participate in the training. So after you've completed the workshop, then you'll be given a ticket, and then you'll go outside and be able to get food from the food truck. They'll have crab cakes, shrimp, fish, meals for individuals. And then the final thing that Mayor Robinson had asked me to do was just to, if you're so inclined, if you're willing to help, she would appreciate it if the town of Cottage City would be willing to make a contribution to offset the cost of the food. Now, we're getting the food at a substantial discount, but the total cost of the food will be about $1,170, about $1,200. And she's just asking if the participating towns would be willing to make a contribution of, say, around $300 to offset the cost. Again, this is an opportunity to be able to help people right where they are, help people transform their lives, help them get back on track using existing resources. We're not trying to duplicate anything, but just trying to do a good job of better connecting the local municipalities with Employ Prince George's. In fact, that's one of their major initiatives now, is to expand their outreach, working with the municipalities to reach people who need help and to assist them in being able to go forward and to be in a better position to take care of themselves and their families. Commissioner Wheatley, that is my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. We're very excited about it. Been working on it all day.
Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing this opportunity. I do have a quick question for you. I see the date is January the 28th. So I can't see the whole flyer, but do people have to register, or can you just walk in? How's the setup?
We would prefer that people would register. You can use the QR code, or you can go to the Employ Prince George's website and register online. We have space limitations, so we are right now looking to cap the registrations at about 75. So we'll have 2 sessions. One will start at 1 o'clock, and there'll be presentations and question and answer. And then a second session would start about 2 o'clock. So we're looking at about 75 people over the 2-hour period in North Brentwood.
Okay, so will the employers be right there on site?
No, ma'am, what they're gonna do is Employ Prince George's is gonna talk about their services, talk about the job openings they have and because with the time that we have, you just don't have enough time to have the employers there. They're gonna then contact each individual, find out what their needs are. And then for those that are just looking for an immediate job opening, they will help them, put them in touch with employers. They have a good directory of current job openings, so they will help move them towards the employers. Some people may need to improve their resume, so they'll help them with the resumes before they help them locate employers. Others may want to upgrade their skills or change their entire occupation, go into a different area. So that's what they're going to do. They're going to talk to each person individually, and then based on that person's interest and needs, assist them and direct them in the right direction to be able to move forward.
Okay, I like the fact that they're gonna help them with their resume. That sounds really good. You did say, Mayor Robinson is looking for, assistance with, paying for the food that day?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. She was suggesting that the participating towns would be willing to contribute about $300. She would appreciate that.
Okay, that's what I was gonna ask you, exactly how much. And what towns are currently participating? What municipalities?
We have contacted, let me just make sure I've got them. Now, again, not everybody, as you well know, not everybody always participates, but we have contacted Brentwood, Colmar Manor, Mount Rainier, and Bladensburg. We've heard back from Colmar Manor, Mount Rainier. We're still waiting to hear from the other towns. You know, in some cases, as you know, they're going to wait until they've had their work sessions with their councils to decide what, if anything, they would be willing to do.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for your presentation. I'm gonna open the floor up to my fellow commissioners to see if they have any questions or comments.
I have a comment. Let's see. I have a comment. I think this sounds like a great program. I guess if it's going to work for us, we're going to need to get out some kind of notice to our residents about this so that the people who might benefit from it would know about it and be able to go. And provided we can do that, then I would support contributing for the food. It sounds like a really good idea and a good program. Can we get something out to people? A flyer out to everyone?
Yeah, we can post it on our website and we can send it out by constant contact.
The only thing is, I'm not sure everyone's on constant contact. I don't know what percentage of our town is on there. And I sort of have a feeling that maybe some of the people who are not on there are some of the ones that might most benefit from this. So that's why I was thinking if there's some way to do a paper thing out to everyone in town.
Well, I mean, it could have been included in our newsletter, but that's already been printed, so.
Right.
One thing that North Brentwood is doing, North Brentwood is also contacting their faith-based leaders and community organizations and asking them to help identify maybe family members, cousins, friends, people that they believe are at a point in their lives where they're willing to make a change. So that's an added thing that they're doing in North Brentwood, is leveraging the faith-based community and their community organizations to help identify people who would benefit from this opportunity.
I agree with Commissioner Young. I don't think that everyone is on constant contact, but a nice flyer could go out. I think we could put that out maybe, or Pastor Crawford, I'm not sure if we can be given the flexibility to have, if you have you been passing out flyers for this? Or what
Yes,
kind of
in fact,
promotion have you been
I've been helping North Brentwood reach their faith-based community. You know, if you think it would be beneficial, I'd be happy to meet with some of your faith-based leaders. I know some of the ones in North Brentwood. We've been working there for a couple of years. But if you think it would be worthwhile for me to be part of a conversation with them or your community leaders, be more than happy to do that. Absolutely.
So your promotion has mainly been with the faith-based leaders?
No, they're doing everything you said, sending out flyers, newsletters, posting on their website. But in addition, they are contacting their community organizations and their faith-based leaders as another, because like you said, not everyone is going to see this online. So that's just another way that they're trying to make sure that the people that would benefit the most from this opportunity would be made aware of it.
Okay. Thank you.
Pastor Crawford, do you have any flyers that you could send to our town, or we could come pick up? Do you have any?
I can definitely deliver some hard copy ones if you would like.
I think that would
Absolutely.
help. Yes.
We have, and what I've sent is a JPEG file. So that's a file that you can easily put online or use on your own social media sites. But I'm happy to print out some copies and deliver them to the town. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do
And
that
then,
tomorrow.
okay. And then Ms. Richardson, could you work with Pastor Crawford and the church leaders? Because we do have 2 churches in town.
Yes, absolutely.
I just ask another question. Do we have it in Spanish? If not, we
No,
probably,
unfortunately, no, and that's my fault. In the future, we're definitely going to do that. That is my fault. We should have had that, but we just didn't do it this time. In the future, as we do these things, we're going to have them in Spanish. Absolutely.
I think probably Brittany could do a Spanish translation so that we could have two-sided thing with Spanish on one side and English on the other side.
Yeah, we use Google for it. Good idea.
Yeah, but the only thing is the ones that he's going to drop off, they're already printed.
Right.
If you want to translate this to Spanish and send it to me, I will incorporate it so that when you get ready to print it, you'll be able to print print on one side English and Spanish on the other.
Okay, if you're willing to do that, then we can work on our side to get the
Okay.
Spanish version.
Okay.
Okay.
If we can get it out to everyone, I think it would be good to make a contribution.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Young. Commissioner Yuri, you said you agreed with making a contribution towards the food.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Commissioners Givens and Armiche. How do you feel?
Yeah, I agree, absolutely. And I think if we can get some printed flyers and maybe have those passed out as well, or at least maybe to, I don't know, to specific households, but I'm definitely in favor. And thank you so much for doing this. I think it's a great service.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. If you get them, I'll pass out my block, for my ward. I'll do my ward myself. So individually. So I'll come up there and run some flyers off or whatever.
Okay, so Pastor Crawford, sounds like we're all in agreement.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. Very exciting, very nice to meet you all. And again, this is just the first of a series of things that we're going to try to do to bring resources to your town that will help and make a difference for people.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. We do
Thank you.
appreciate it.
God bless you. Have a great evening, and I'll be in touch with Ms. Richardson.
You as well.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, guys. So next on our agenda tonight is old business, which would be the public hearing for ordinance 2022-07, which is on the screen now, and this is the ordinance about our cable franchise. So I'm going to open the floor for our public hearing. And at this time, I will ask the, if there are anyone from the public who wishes to make a comment or have a discussion in regards to this ordinance. This will be the public hearing for those who are wondering. So I'll give you a few minutes to come off of mute.
Could I just ask, it says granting a renewal of the cable franchise. Is this changing anything from the way it has been, or is it just renewing what has been so that it remains the same?
I believe when we discussed this last week in the work session, I believe Carol said there were no changes. We were just renewing our agreement.
Okay.
Is that not correct, Carol?
With Comcast,
With
correct.
Comcast?
I don't think there were significant changes. I think Mr. Best is more well-versed in it, I will be frank, than I am. But from me even talking to other people, there were not significant changes. But it's
Mr.
something
Best,
that's,
is that correct? Mr.
Yeah, there were
Best,
some changes. If you scroll down, one of the recitals talks about the changes.
were they significant?
You know, I wasn't around when the earlier franchise agreement was entered into, so I can't really answer that question well. But in the recital that you see in the middle of the page, that cites the main features of the franchise agreement. I will say that the attorneys for the consortium were pleased with what they were able to negotiate this time around, particularly since the country is changing on PEG channels, the number of municipal PEG channels, and whether some municipalities are receiving the 3% PEG grant. So they felt it was a fairly robust and generous agreement in general.
Does that
Are you-
answer your question, Commissioner Young?
More or less, yeah.
So again, we are in our public hearing right now, and I have not heard from anyone in our public audience. I have not heard any comments from the public. So if there are no public comments, I will go ahead and move forward. And I will go to our second reading. So that ends the hearing. Real quick. All right, so can you bring the screen down a little bit? So I can,
down.
well, up.
Oh,
I can only see the first sentence.
you want me to make it bigger?
No, I made it bigger on my screen. I just
Okay.
need you to scroll up.
That's high up as I can go.
Okay. Let's see, let me read this. Man, trying to read this on this little monitor is really hard. Okay, so the town of Cottage, no, you made it too big now. I can't.
Oh,
see
okay, I'm just trying to help. I'll leave it alone.
That's good. The town of Cottage City ordinance 2022-07. An ordinance granting renewal of the cable franchise to Comcast of Maryland LLC. And authorizing a franchise agreement. Whereas the town of Cottage City is an incorporated municipality governed pursuant to Article 11-E of the Constitution of Maryland, and whereas you're gonna have to scroll up because it's cutting off. Okay. Whereas pursuant to LG Article section 5-202 of said state code. The Cottage City Commissioners have the authority to pass such ordinances as they deem necessary to assure the good government of the municipality, to protect and preserve the municipality's rights, to secure persons and property from danger and destruction, and to promote the health, comfort, and convenience of the citizens of the municipality. All right, that is the ordinance for 2022-07. Is that, and that was the second reader. Is there a motion to approve this ordinance?
So moved as read.
And that was Commissioner Givens who made the motion. Is there a second? Commissioner Wheatley, I make the second. Call for the vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Givens, aye.
Pardon me, Young, I.
Wheatley, aye. Commissioner Yuri? Commissioner Yuri? Looks like we might have lost her. Oh, no, she's still there. Commissioner Yuri, call for your vote, please.
You're muted.
Her screen was freezing earlier, so she may be having that same issue now. So you might want to get back to her, or once you have the confinement of the votes, move on.
Okay, so that was 4 yays. Any nays? Any abstentions? Hearing none, the motion passes. We did not receive a vote from Commissioner Yuri. Next on our agenda will be new business.
Madam Chair,
Yes,
just FYI, the consortium will have the final franchise agreement, particularly the exhibits. It's like a 100-page document, and they had some changes to make to the locations where they provide the drops and some other non-substantive changes. So I'm just advising, do not sign the annexation, the franchise agreement until the final smooth copy, particularly of the exhibits, come from the consortium. Thank you.
so noted. Again, moving on to new business. Shoot. So the next one is a public hearing for a charter amendment, resolution 2023-01. And this is the charter amendment for changing the title of chairman to chair, so that it'll be a more neutral title and more inclusive versus saying chairman. Never liked that term. All right, so let me read, what is this? Let me read the can you scroll up some, please?
Yes.
All right. The Commissioners of the Town of Cottage City Charter Amendment Resolution Number 2023.
Commissioner Wheatley, can I just ask a question before you read this?
Yes.
It says Commissioner Chair. Is there any reason why that couldn't be just Commission Chair? I mean, I don't care that much, but it seems would make more sense to just say Commission Chair.
I have no preference whatsoever. I didn't write this document, so I don't know why it says Commissioner versus Commission. Who wrote this document?
Kevin,
I did.
Is there any reason why you said commissioner chair versus commission chair?
I believe the term's in the charter. I believe it's been commonly used throughout the years that I've been the town attorney. I've heard the chairperson commonly referred to as commissioner chair. I've seen it in numerous documents, legal and informal documents about the town. So if you want to table this and amend
It's
it,
not that big a deal to me. It's just something I noticed. It's not that big a deal.
This is
Hold on.
Commissioner Amarche. It would seem to me that it's referring to the fact that the person is both commissioner and chair of the commission, commissioner dash chair, rather
exactly.
than signifying chair of the commission, even though it's saying the
That's-
same thing. So I think it's fine to leave it personally.
That makes sense, yeah.
And let me ask, has the 21-day notice been fulfilled for this charter amendment resolution?
Yes,
Thank you.
Okay, let me start over. The Commissioners of the Town of Cottage City Charter Amendment Resolution Number 2023-01. A charter amendment resolution of the Cottage City Commission to amend various sections of the town charter to change the title of chairman to either chairman, no, sorry, I'm saying chairman, to either commissioner chair, vice chair, or chair, and generally relating to the gender-neutral titles of the presiding officers named in the charter of the town of Cottage City, and other stylistic changes or updates. So that is what this charter amendment is about. Are there any questions for Mr. Best or for Carol? Commissioners Young, I believe your question may have already been answered. Were there any other questions or comments or discussion? Hearing none. And it was just confirmed by the town manager that the 21-day notice did go out. Can you scroll down some more, please? Thank you. Can you scroll all the way down? Because I think there was one change that I had asked to be made. I don't know if it was made. Can you scroll down to?
it had December, I think.
Yeah, it had December and it
Yeah, I
was.
changed that. It was like right there.
Okay,
And I still have to change it again for when it's actually adopted, so.
okay. All right, so,
No, you don't need to change it. You can adopt this resolution tonight.
okay, but we have to take the vote first.
Of course. Have you conducted a public hearing?
On this one, I know we just did the public hearing on the other one. But it says public hearing for charter amendment, so I guess we're in the public hearing now.
Well, you'll want to ask the public if there's anyone here that wishes to comment on that. That's part of the hearing, the 21-day notice hearing requirement.
I believe I did ask if there was any comments or discussion. I believe I did ask that,
You
But
gotta
I'll-
say to the public.
but I'll ask it again. This is for the public. Are there any comments or questions? Any discussion?
No, thank you for this, Wanda.
No, thank you guys, because I've been asking for this for some years now. So I'm glad to see that it's finally going to happen. Hearing no public comments, we can move on. Are you good with that, Mr. Best?
Am I good with what?
With that just being said for the public hearing? That's what you were talking about. You asked, had the hearing been conducted?
Yes, it seems like the hearing's been conducted and you can close the record for that and move on to the vote on this charter amendment resolution.
Will do. All righty. So we've just completed or conducted our public hearing. There were no comments. We will now call for the vote for Charter Amendment 2023-01. Is there a motion to approve this charter amendment?
I move we approve, and I think this is a good move on our part.
Totally agree. Is there a second?
Givens, I second.
The motion has been made by Commissioner Young and seconded by Commissioner Givens. All in favor, please say aye.
Givens, I.
Young, aye.
Fury, aye.
Wheatley, aye. Hearing no nays or abstentions, the motion passes. Thank you, everyone. All right, we can move to the next one.
So the
Um,
chief is gonna,
well, before we do that, look like the numbers have been duplicated. Am I looking at this correctly? But this one is a resolution, is that why?
the numbers have been duplicated where?
Okay, so we did the public hearing to change the charter amendment is 2023-01.
Right, but this is a resolution. That was a charter amendment.
I know, I said one's a resolution and one's a charter amendment,
Right.
but then on C is 2023-01 again. And that says changing the language for code enforcement. So that,
Hold on, that might be a typo. Okay, that was a mistake on my part. The code enforcement should be 2023-02.
okay. Well, we haven't gotten to that one yet, but
Okay.
we'll, when we get to it, just make a note of it.
Okay.
Okay, so which one were we on? We just did the. Oh, God, I can't see. So the next one is resolution 2023-01.
Mhm.
And this is a resolution for the Cottage City ARPA funding received for the fiscal year ended June 30th, 2023. So this is for that bowler wrap.
Yeah, that's the chief requested.
Okay, so Chief, did you want to talk about this? Because I know we discussed it at the work session. I believe the consensus was that we were going to do it. But did you want to say anything else?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right, so let me just read this into the record. Again, this is resolution 2023-01, a resolution concerning the Cottage City ARPA funding received for the fiscal year ended June 30th, 2023. Whereas the town's charter requires no public money may be expended without having been appropriated by the commission. Any transfer of funds between major appropriations for different purposes must be approved by the commission before becoming effective. Okay, there's a typo. It says the acting town manager should be the town manager. Please delete acting.
Okay.
Whereas the town manager and commission have discussed and agreed upon specific uses of the ARPA funding for fiscal year 2023. I cannot see the rest of this. Where does it start talking about the bowler thing? Okay. All right. Okay, come back down some, because I need to read the sentence above that. Okay. Whereas the town manager and commission have discussed and agreed upon specific uses of the ARPA funding for fiscal year 2023, and be it further ordained that this resolution shall further amend the fiscal year 22-23 budget to reflect the following changes. Please scroll up. Up. There you go. Fiscal year 23 budget line 5555 for bowler wrap system. The increase will be $8,498.58 for that same fiscal budget year.
Sorry, one moment. minute. I don't know what happened. Sorry about that.
For that same fiscal budget year, the budget line item number is 6054. And this is for the ARPA grant expense, and that will be a decrease of $8,498.58. And this is for the use of ARPA funds to purchase bowler wrap the restraint system. Okay, so again, this is I guess it's kind of like I don't want to call it a slingshot, but it's the thing that the police use to restrain a suspect versus using a taser. So it's I guess it's like a rope. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, but
It's a wire that's shut out of it's a projectile that's shot out of a handheld device that wraps around a person's arms and legs to prevent them from injuring themselves or others.
mhm.
It's a restraining system, and it's non-invasive to a point where it doesn't harm the individual like the taser would.
Mm. Okay. I got a quick question though, Chief. Didn't we just buy some new tasers?
Yes, this is for people that are like on drugs or people that are mentally unstable.
Okay, so you're gonna continue to use the tasers.
That's correct for those for apprehension purposes for the violent offenders and stuff like that. But for those that are mentally unstable or on drugs and stuff like that, that we're trying to just detain to get them help. This is a safer way to go about it.
Okay. Alrighty, so is there a motion to approve resolution 20?
Can I ask, Chief Ayers, are our officers having problems, like maybe apprehending people? Of,
Well, we had incident just recently with a person that was on PCP, and we tried to get him some assistance. And he was getting ready to go out on the roadway, and our officers got into a wrestling match with him. With one of the officers, two officers got injured, and also the individual that we tried to get help for, he got injured also. So this kind of a tool will actually give us another level of retention that will keep our officers safe as well as the individual.
and being that he was, I guess, under substance, the taser wasn't a good option for him.
The taser wasn't effective because of he didn't feel any pain.
Oh, yeah, all right. Thank you.
So it's safer than a taser, right?
For those kind of situations, yes, ma'am.
If it doesn't deliver any shock or anything like that.
No, ma'am, it doesn't deliver any shock. It just wraps them up.
Sounds like a good idea.
Restrains
How
them.
many of this are we requesting? I'm sorry.
Requesting 6.
6.
So
This
did you
is the
ask for a
total
motion?
price for 6 of them, is that correct?
Excuse me, ma'am?
This is the total price for 6 of them?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Plus the cartridges as well as the holsters.
Commissioner Young, to answer your question, I was about to ask for the motion, but you guys started to have a discussion, so I stopped.
Well, I move we adopt it.
Is there a second?
I second.
Motion made by Commissioner Young to adopt the bowler wrap system. Motion seconded by Commissioner Armache. Call for the vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Gibbons, aye.
Young, I.
Yuri, I just think we should have the number put in of how many we're ordering.
Okay, I'll amend it.
Can I finish the vote, please? Commissioner Wheatley, aye. Motion passes. There were no nays or abstentions. Moving on.
One moment.
Okay, all right.
I've
Next
changed the
ordinance.
number.
I see it. Next ordinance. Cottage City Commission, Town of Cottage City Ordinance number 2023-02. An ordinance of the Town of Cottage City amending the code.
Hold on, I'm sorry. All right. Is that too big?
Yes, it's too big.
Okay.
It's cutting part of the screen off. Part of the page is cut off.
Yeah, it doesn't look like that on my side.
That's good. You can leave it right there.
Okay, that just seemed really small.
It is, but at least I can see the whole page.
Okay.
Okay, let's see, where were we? Ordinance number 2023-02. An ordinance of the Town of Cottage City amending the code of the Town of Cottage City to change the title of Code Enforcement Officer to Code Compliance Officer. And this was introduced by the Cottage City Commission. Okay, you could just make it a tiny bit bigger. A little bit more.
And whenever I move it, like jumps to huge.
Right. Okay, whereas pursuant to section 18.2 of the town charter, the Cottage City Commission has the power to pass ordinances and not contrary to the laws and constitution of this state for the specific purposes, including to provide, maintain, and operate community and social services for the preservation and promotion of health, recreation, welfare, and entitlement of the inhabitants of the town. Okay, scroll up some more to the next paragraph. Okay. Whereas the Cottage City Commission finds that the town code should be amended to rename the Code Enforcement Officer to the Code Compliance Officer throughout. All right, I think I've read enough of that. So I think we all, again, in the work session last week, agreed that we would change the title from Code Enforcement Officer to Code Compliance Officer. Hopefully there is no further discussion, but if there is, I'll entertain it now.
The only question I would ask is, are there any other places where it just talks about code enforcement generally, not relating to the officer, where we need to change that to code compliance? Or was that already done? I haven't had a chance to look at the whole thing to check that out.
I believe Mr. Best may have written this one as well.
Yes, I searched the code for enforcement and code enforcement officer using various terms to look, and so this is the comprehensive change of the title.
So all enforcements are changed to compliance.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
The If there's no further discussion, I will call for the vote. Is there a motion? I mean, I call for the vote. Call.
There is no vote, Madam Chair. This is a first reader.
Oh, it does say first reader, sorry. All right, let's move on.
One moment.
Oh, shoot. I'm trying to look at the agenda on my phone and on this screen. And it's so tiny, the print is so tiny. All right, what's the next one? Because you don't have it up yet. I think it says discussion of potential public parking on city's open lot.
On 3808 38th Avenue.
Okay, I'm not quite sure who's going to discuss that.
Chief, do you want to talk about that? And the reason why this came up? Regarding the traffic and. Hello?
I'm sorry, it's in reference to the traffic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
Can you bring the agenda up? This is about the parking lot on 38th Street.
Oh, yes, yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. I apologize. Yes, while we were out there, talking to some of the neighbors and putting flyers out in reference to the no parking zones, a couple of residents, had a great idea in reference to the vacant lot we have that the town owns, right before you get to the Bladensburg Road on 38th Avenue. And we were trying to see if possible, if we can discuss ways of trying to make that a parking lot, overflow parking lot for the residents, as well as a parking lot that can be used for the community outreach center when we have large events, somewhere for the people to park to actually walk up to the center. So I'm trying to present this to the commission to see if they might consider this idea to actually move forward with it, to try to alleviate some of the concerns people have in reference to parking on 30th Avenue.
Ms. Richardson, can you scroll the agenda down some more so we can see where we're at?
Sorry, because I'm seeing it differently. I'm sorry.
Do
Can
you
you see
have,
it?
do you have, yeah, do you have a picture of that lot or anything for us to look at?
I do not, unfortunately.
Does everyone know which lot the chief is talking about?
Yeah, and I have a question or so, if I may.
Okay, before that, does everybody else know? Because I only heard from Commissioner Young.
Yes, I know.
Are we talking about the lot where the bus was parked?
Across from that, ma'am.
Across.
from it.
There used to be an old home there that was raised, and the lot was given to the town.
Gotcha.
But Commissioner Givens, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that lot, there's a stipulation with that lot. We have to use it for community. It has to be like a community source, something that the community can use as a whole. So this parking lot, you said it would be for the residents or for the businesses?
It's for overflow for the residents that live on that side of the street, because we took their parking away. Well, they weren't allowed from the get-go to park in the street. And right now, State Highway erected the signs for the police department start enforcing the no parking to keep the flow of traffic flowing. And what's happening right now that most of the people over there have a four-car parking driveways. The problem is that they have guests that come over sometimes, and they're trying to see if possible they can have another location to park their visitors for visitor parking, as well as having a location for our community outreach center. As you well know, when we get that put together and opened up, there's no parking near that location, and to have another parking lot to use other than the town hall that's close by to the community outreach center, I think it might be an ideal location to have overflow there too.
Yeah, but again, is that for the community or is it just for those residents and for the community center?
No, it's open for the community as well. Because like I said, I was trying to see if possible, we can actually put like a walking museum where you have a place where people can stop and walk around and see monuments or little plaques talking about the history of the town. And maybe you a little archway there saying welcome to Cottage City, and have like, some kind of, place where people can park their cars to actually use the bike trails, a meeting point.
Okay, hold up.
Yeah.
Let's table this for a work session, because
Yeah.
it's going into all kind of different directions right
No,
now.
I'm just throwing ideas out. I'm not saying that. I'm just talking about right now. You're saying for if we use mixed use later on, but right now we're talking about the parking lot.
I'm just saying the whole topic, table it for
Okay.
a work session.
Okay, sure.
And then maybe you can have some pictures and some diagrams or something, some numbers for us to look at.
What I would tell you, go ahead and prepare. If you're looking at that direction, go ahead and prepare some estimates for blacktopping that what's saying the associated cost, so the commission can, have a better idea of what it is you're talking about, and like you said, and how you anticipate having it set up, and hours of operation or whatever, like no more than 24 hours or 48 hours or whatever. I don't know. Whatever the situation is, just kind of have it all packaged for her. So they'll know. Thank you.
Couple more questions, if I could just add a couple more. One, please look at issues of going in and coming out of there in terms of traffic, because traffic down there tends to get pretty backed up at certain times of day. And then two, I liked, if I understood what you said about having monuments and so forth, that sounds like a good idea, because I guess I would sort of hate to see that just become only a parking lot without any other items of interest. I mean, obviously we need parking availability, especially for the people who live on that street. But I like the idea of, and I'd like to hear more at the next work session about the kinds of monuments and other things that might also be put there, because it's a pretty big area. And I'd hate to see it be just a parking lot.
The time is 8:30.
I agree. Let's
At
move on.
9:30, I'll be.
Let's move on, because we do need to go into a closed session. All right, Ms. Richardson, you're up next. You're doing the
Update on the.
manager update.
Yes, update on the WSSC bill. We had gotten a bill that was outrageous. And it was like $5,000. And I contacted WSSC and I spoke to someone finally. What happened, even though they were coming to check our water meter, they were still putting in estimates going back a number of years. For some reason, they had a new system and then there was a glitch in it. So then it generated a whole bunch of bills and errors. We aren't the only one. It happened to thousands of people. So what they did, this was the bill we got. They made the adjustments to reflect what the actual readings should have been. So from 5,000, it went to $973.39. So, and then our current charges. So that has been rectified. That's all. Any questions? Yeah. Can you hear me?
Sorry,
Yeah,
I was muted. I was saying they've corrected the bill. Let's move on to the next item.
So I provided the personnel manual so you all would have it. I am reviewing it just to make some corrections because, recently dealing with some personnel actions, information, language that conflicted, one section conflicted with another, just to review that. Also address the language of how long the probation period is as well. I will have Mr. Best look at it, but I also have given it to Legit. They do have human resources people to look at it and review it, and they will give you feedback. So they are reviewing it at this time. Any questions?
No.
And if you all think there's something that should be added or changed, please let me know.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next is the
So
copy.
this is just the lease for our copier. Our copier is 10 years old. Our lease ends on March 30th. Okay. So we are in the market for a copier. It wouldn't make sense to buy a 10-year-old copier because it has been discontinued, so you can't get parts for it. So we're in the market to either buy or lease a copier. So I am getting quotes from different vendors so that I can bring that back to you. I've gotten a quote from our current vendor, and I've reached out to 2 others. So I'm waiting to hear back from them, but I just wanted to make sure you all were aware that you know the copier is come to the end of its life, and it. So, any questions about that?
Was it a lease to own lease, and has the copier, is it no longer serviceable?
Correct. It's no longer serviceable. They discontinued it, so they don't even make parts for it anymore because it's 10 years old.
So it was not lease to own, it was just a leasing agreement. Is that what you're saying?
It was a lease to own, but even for, why would we buy a 10-year-old copier that is discontinued?
But I mean, do we already own it or? I mean,
No, we're still leasing it until, and then we will have the option to buy it before the end of the lease. So
at what price?
I don't know at this point. I didn't ask, given the fact that it's 10 years old and it's been discontinued and can't be, and there are no new parts for it.
The only reason I ask is because if it's very cheap, it might be helpful that some other people in town hall might find it helpful to have a second copier, but I don't know how much money you're talking about, so.
Well, I mean, I can ask, but then the question would be, we wouldn't be able to get it serviced. The issue would be, we wouldn't be able to get it serviced.
Are they currently servicing it now?
We haven't had any problems, but as time goes on, we're going to get to a point where they may still have some parts and supplies now, but as time goes on, they will no longer have any.
Okay, what she's saying, what people want to know, Carol, is you can't make an educated decision if you don't have all the information. So right now, I still think that it is in our best interest to always know what is the purchase price. It doesn't mean that we're going to do it. It doesn't mean we're not going to take your recommendation, but we should be informed so that we make educated decisions in regards so everyone's know what's going on. So I yield back.
Fair enough.
Thanks.
Okay. I will get that back to you.
When does the contract or the lease end?
March 30th.
Okay, let's table this for the February work session. Okay, what's next?
Hold on, taking notes. Okay. DPW report.
No, there's something
No?
about the Brentwood Fire Department, and then we got the ESOL update.
Oh, I'm sorry, my screen's different. Hold on. Okay. So, the Brentwood Fire Department is having a car seat installation and check on March 2nd. They asked that it be mentioned at our town hall. I have asked them if they had a flyer. They did not. They're working on one. So we will support them and putting it in constant contact. So that's just an FYI.
In the February newsletter, so hopefully they can get it to you before the newsletter goes out.
Right, exactly. And that's what I told them. Okay. So regarding the ESOL, Comar Manor has decided to partner with us for the classes. They have budgeted $700 for it. Our budget for it is
I thought they
$2,000.
were budgeting 2,000.
No, we're budgeting 2025. I'm sorry.
No, they're budgeting 2,000.
Yeah, the 700 is Black History. I'm
That's
sorry.
Black History Month.
So they're
And you're talking
budgeting,
about English as a second language, just for people who don't know what ESL means.
and so we budgeted $2,025. They budgeted $2,000. So in total, we have $4,025. So based upon our discussions and it included Mr. Colo, the instructor, to have instructions 2 hours a week for 2 hours, 2 times a week. So 4 hours total a week. Because in our discussion, Monica Casanyas, the mayor of Comar Manor, she had previously taught English as a second language, and she thought that just 2 hours a week, well, 4 hours a week was better in terms of people learning and grasping in the class. Anything less than that, she didn't think it was better to have at least 4 hours. So given how much money they are going to contribute and add it to ours, and with 4 hours total of classes, we will be able to offer 9 weeks of classes total. That will be split up from a beginner level and an intermediate level. When the classes start, the first half will initially be for beginners. The rationale is for them to be in the beginners class, and then the second half will be intermediate so that they can build on what they've learned.
And also so that everyone that's in the class are at the same level. So you don't have intermediate mixed in with beginners. And so when Mr. Colo is trying to instruct the beginners, the intermediate students aren't just sitting there twiddling their thumbs. He's had a mixed bag. And so we thought it would be better to just have all the beginners together and have all the intermediate together.
Well, so far as I know, there's only been beginners, but should there be a sign up for an intermediate class, then they could be separated that way.
According to Mr. Colo, he has students who are much more advanced than his beginners. He said that in the meeting. I'm just repeating what he said.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, okay, I've never heard him say that. Thank you.
And then you have to remember, if we're joining with Comar Manor, we don't know where their students are going to be. They're probably going to have a mix as well.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. If there's a sign up for more advanced students, then we can separate it out that way.
Yeah, that's what Carol just said. Go ahead, Carol.
The next is the ARPA gas and food card distribution. We used ARPA funds to give Safeway food cards as well as gas cards. When the programs were established, it was 1 per household, but the language didn't say 1 per household per year or just for the life of the program. So we've had some people show up since it's 2023 saying, well, can I get my 2023 gift card? So the question becomes, what is the intent of the commission in terms of the gas cards and food cards? Should that be clarified that it's 1 per household per year, or is it 1 per period for the life of the program? And I will note that a lot of people in the town have not availed themselves of these gas and food cards.
I think we should advertise them more, and I think that that it might be a good idea to, unless there's some actual prohibition out there against it, to allow more than one a year.
What do other commissioners think?
Okay, where are we at as far as what we have left? I think that's it's an informative decision, so we can make an informed decision.
Okay, one moment.
Well, in terms of money, we talked about the money earlier. And there was
No, I'm just really talking about how much money in gas cards we have left, how much money in food cards do we have left, you
Okay.
know, and under this, what we had already allocated.
Okay, so Shell gas gift cards, we
Uh-huh.
have 47 cards at $50 each.
Okay, that's what's
And
left.
that's a total of 2,350.
Okay.
Then for the Safeway food gift cards, we have 13 cards at $50 each.
Okay,
Then
So it's not-
we have some more of the food cards.
oh,
And then we have 101 cards at $100 each.
so it sounds like we probably should put some more money into the $50 gift cards for this, and then people who have families of whatever you guys determine is your, you know, more, than they would get the $100 gift cards per household.
Yeah, generally we've been doing, if you family of 3 or more, they will get the $100. I
Mhm.
did have Tracy call Safeway corporate to see if we could exchange them
Mhm.
for 50, and we could not. So,
Okay. Well, it sounds like we probably should put some more in the $50 gift cards right now.
yes.
And allocate, and what is your recommended increased, well, not as far as allotment of funds for that? What is it, $5,000 increments, or what? How are you doing it? I don't recall.
Well, I guess that depends on, because I can look back and say, well, how many have we given away? So if you all are saying they're one and done, or it's annual, then I can say, well, based upon how much we gave before, we should get this many. But I need to know.
Well, one of the things you guys did, which I didn't necessarily agree with, but you guys were like giving them out like for anything, like kind of City Day. It wasn't necessarily people who actually needed the what's the name. They were just giving them as prizes and this. So they've done a number of those things just in
Mhm.
order, in my understanding, because they had so many, and they were complaining that, oh, we have all these things, we haven't gotten rid of them, we need to get rid of them, and so that was like the mad rush to hurry up and get rid of them. So now it sounds like we're short again, and now it's like I don't want to keep doing that. I'm not for all of this, just everybody, it's a free for all. I think people in need should be able to get the help, right? If you have a need, you should be able to, we should be trying to assist you. But you know, that's what's wrong with America. Everything ain't free. People got to work for some stuff, you know, and if you need a helping hand, there should be a helping hand there for you. So let's look at that aspect of it, as opposed to, because I don't want to buy a whole bunch of more again, and then you guys complain that we have all these gift cards we haven't gotten away with, and then you start just throwing them out there to have, you know, we got to do a better job at how we run these programs like that.
Well,
And that's
let me-
exactly that. No, that's exactly what happened too, because I remember this conversation. But I'll yield back. Thank you.
Well, I think the issue is, you know, the cards were bought, there were $25,000 worth of cards. And if I look at the value now that we have left, it's about $10,750 for the food cards. But the issue is it's one per household. So we haven't fully, you know, people haven't, a large percentage of the town have not availed themselves of these food cards. So again, we can push them and promote them, but yeah, we've had people like, well, no, I'm not going to get it. I don't want anything from the government. Give it to somebody else, or whatever reason. So the gas cards, they went very quickly. Because you had to appropriate more money from what we had initially. So, I mean, the purpose of them is to go to the residents and to help them. So, is the question, they just get one for one and done, or is it per year?
I understand. I think we understand what your question is. Do we just do one per household and that be it? Or do we allow them to come back the next year and get another one? All that being said, like Commissioner Givens said, you guys were complaining about you can't get rid of them. They're just sitting here. We need to get rid of them. We need to get rid of them. Then we got the gas cars. They were going like hotcakes. But then you complain, we had the staff complaining about, well, they're not really buying the gas. They're taking it and going to the store and they're getting cigarettes and they're getting snacks and they're getting this and that. And then people were getting gas cars that don't even drive. So I'm all about helping our residents, but I believe, as Commissioner Givens has pointed out, we do need to be more thoughtful about this program and we need to pay attention and make it more organized. Chief, I see you have your hand up. You want to say something?
Yes, I talk to a lot of people that come into the station every day to ask for these gift cards. These people are suffering right now. And these people are coming constantly every time we put something in the newsletter about gift cards or about any kind of assistance. They're coming back in with receipts, they're coming back in with their mortgages. Those are people are struggling and hurting. And I know for a fact, I know a few of them. And they just want to be helped. Also, we have multi-families in these houses. So if you give one family a card, that means the other families that live in the house are not getting a card. So it's unfair. So it's the point where we need to be.
No, we said that if it's two families in a household, all they have to do is prove that they're a separate family, whether that's with a mortgage or if they have a utility bill saying that they're either A or B, up or down, whatever. We never said that if it's two families, only one family get a card. We never said that.
That's correct. We
never
distinguish
said that.
between the households. You can
Okay,
be two
well-
households in one house.
Right, but what's happening right now is people coming back that are still, that's really suffering to ask for help and we turn them away. So I have a problem with that. If we have money to help these people that are coming constantly that need help, like for instance, we had one person that asked for a mortgage assistance 2 years ago. He was already in a hole for almost several months. We were able to pay 1 month, but he's still suffering. We have a couple seniors that had the same situation over at the towers that we paid one bill, but they still were in a hole more than we can give them. So I think it should be a case-by-case situation where a person comes in, talks to someone about their problems and see if we can assist them more, because we have a lot of people that are asking for help and we're not helping them. We turn them away because they already been through the process one time.
Well, if that's the case, then the staff should be saying or making a recommendation to the commission to say, hey, I think there's some extenuating circumstances for some of these residents. They may need more assistance. Is it possible that we can extend them more funds? Can we find another program? Can we create something? Can we do this? Can we do that? We as commissioners, we don't know if you guys don't tell us. So hearing this now, I know me and you talk offline about it, but I don't know if the whole commission knows it. But I think the staff, you guys have to come and let us know what's going on, because you're talking to the people on a daily basis. It is 8:54. I know Commissioner Givens has to leave at 9:30. We need to move on. I don't think we're going to be able to answer your question tonight.
Okay,
So can we move on?
sure.
I agree, let's move on, but I do think that the chief has raised a real issue.
I agree.
Yeah, we can talk about it at the next meeting. So next is Public Works.
Hello, Commissioners. For the sake of time, my Public Works report is in there. You guys can read over that. I will say that the mini split system has been installed, and the bench on Bladensburg Road will be, if the concrete has already been laid, we just have to put the bench in once everything is dried and cured, which we should be doing tomorrow. that's pretty much it far as my report. That's significant. I do have something up for the commission, which is the electrical proposals for the parking lot lights and the Public Works office. The parking lot lights, which Commissioner Wheatley had mentioned that the parking lot is a little dark because there are now three lights that are out now. Two of them are out because of the LED bulbs have blown, and then one of them have to be rewired, the one by the police department. I did get those pictures where you can see the light poles. And I do have 3 quotes from 3 electricians that we've actually done business with. Northeast Electric is one who is familiar with our light poles in the parking lot. They've worked on them, they've repaired them over the years. Eugene Electric is the one who did our EV electrical station for the electric vehicles. And then what's the other one? CNA is the electric company who put in our electricity for the message board that's outside of the building. Out of all of the contractors, all 3 of the contractors, I believe CNA is the cheapest of them all. Only thing that's different about CNA's proposal is that they're only replacing the 2 light poles that are blown, and they want to look at the other light pole to determine what they would do to fix that light pole. They don't want to just give us a price to run the wire. They want to actually do their own investigation on the pole to figure that out, and then they will give us a cost on that. The other 2 companies, Eugene Electric and Northeast Electric, actually gave us a price to rewire that particular pole so that we can get electricity to it. The prices are broken down. Northeast Electric gave us 2 different ones, one for the parking lot and one for the Public Works facility. I think the one that's up right now is the parking lot at $3,890. And then the one for the Public Works building is $2,596. For Eugene Electric, the parking lot is $3,500. And then the Public Works building is $2,900. And then for CNA, who didn't give us the price to do the one pole, the Public Works facility is $1,710. And then the parking lot lights, just to do the 2 poles, are $2,880. So I'm asking the commission first, do you want to do 2 separate electricians, one for the building and one for the Public Works facility, or do we want the same company to do both? Another thing is that we just found out that the front of the building, one of the lights are out in the front of the building that just went out. So that's going to have to get changed. I'm going to have to add that on as far as the building lights for the parking lot lights. I'm going to have to add that one on as well. It's a smaller light, but it's going to be still going to be a cost to change those LED. I can say that all 3 of them did say that those lights are old and they're going to get as close as they can to the fixture, because it's not just a light bulb, it's the whole fixture has to be changed. And because of how old they are, they're out of date. And if 2 of them have went out, which is now 3 of them have went out, then most likely we're going to have to get all of them fixed at some point.
I have a question for you. Have you looked into applying for a grant for the lights?
I have not, because it became an emergency because the poles are not working and the parking lot is getting darker and darker as they go out.
So are you gonna get like energy efficient? I know you said LED, but you know,
Well, the LED lights, those lights were put in as energy efficient lights from a grant. They changed the parking lot lights and the ones inside the building.
so those lights actually came from a grant,
Right,
but that's been years ago. Is that what it is?
right.
And
I want to say it's been
now-
8 years ago since those lights been put in, 7 or 8 years ago. It was back when Reggie was the grant writer.
Hmm.
Just before Stan left as the grant writer, because Stan started it and Reggie finished it.
Okay. I wish we could have applied for another one, another grant. All right, so are you looking for us to make a decision tonight?
Well, for the public works building, yes, but for the parking lot lights, I really want to know if you want me to get all of them changed, because they, like I said, all 3 of them said it could be a chain where 2 of them or 3 of them have went out already. Most likely the other ones are going to go out because they were all put in at the same time. So do we get all of them redone?
Well, if the other 2 are gonna look different from what we currently have, I think it makes sense to replace all of them so they're more uniform and it looks, you know, similar. I would hate to have all these different kind of lights up there looking all weird.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just one person, so I don't know what the other commissioners want to do, but I would say change them all at one time.
That actually makes sense. So I agree. And just let's get it done.
Okay. Well, I'll bring that one back, but I am asking the commission to approve the public works electrical work. That is for the mini split, the direct connect for the mini split, the heat and the air unit in the building, and then also for the sockets, the power outlets for the public works office.
Do you have heat in your building right now?
No. Right
So
now,
you-
I have a plug-in heater right now that sits right beside me at the computer, but the mini split is what we put in the office.
And that will heat up the whole building,
No, just the office.
just the office.
You don't really need you don't really need the whole building heated up unless they're running a project in there. And they use currently they use propane to when they're doing something, you know, long term. Most of their work is done outside in the field. So we can address that if it comes in the future. But right now, he just wants the electrical outlets and the what's in, because it becomes unsafe. You've got too many things plugged up to one outlet, you know, that becomes a safety issue. And then the secondary is we put the mini split in, but we're not qualified to run the electrical. You know, you need a master electrical technician to do that. Thank you.
No, I'm fine with you getting that equipment for the public works building.
Okay, so there is one proposal from Eugene Electric that's 2,900. The proposal,
Just tell us what you recommend. You already told us that other part. Just tell us what do you recommend for
I
us?
recommend that we go with Northeast Electric for 2,596.
All right. I mean, he's already said the other stuff, so I don't want to keep going back through this.
Right, I was gonna say, if there's no more discussion, is there a motion?
I make the motion as read to get the electrical lights and electrical equipment for 2,596 from what's the name of the company again?
Northeast
No-
Electric.
Northeast Electric. Northeast Electric
For the public works building.
for the public works building.
Okay, the motion has been made. Is there a second? I'll make the second. This is Commissioner Wheatley. Call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Givens,
Aye.
aye.
Young eye.
Yuri, I.
Givens, aye.
Wheatley, aye. Hearing no nays or abstentions, the motion passes. Is that the end of your report, Greg?
Yeah, just an update on 38th Avenue. It looks as if they have completed all of the paving on that street today.
Yeah,
I'll go back and look tomorrow just to make sure, but I believe they did the last bit of it today, so we should be good up there.
yeah, I saw they had the street blocked. All right, thank you for your report. Moving on, we're going to the police department. And it's 9:05. Chief, you want to take your report?
Yes,
Your
my report
report.
stands as written. Just a couple questions real quick. My resolution in reference to my left of my my management software that wasn't put in resolution. Like I stated, I was hoping that I can get that approved today, but the resolution is not ready or wasn't presented. So hopefully next month we can have it for a vote. We did discuss that at the work session last week. And also I want to discuss about the grant money that we received in reference to the community surveillance program. The money did come in, not the money come in, but we did get granted. I want permission from the commission, if possible, start moving forward to start getting the items delivered to us, so we can start installing the cameras as well as purchasing the ring cameras for the residents.
It's fine with me.
I agree.
Same.
All right, and I sent all the commission a copy of the proposed rollout of the program to their emails.
All right, thanks, Chief. That's the end of your report.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, moving on. Ward 1, Commissioner Young, you have anything to report out?
I can't think of anything right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Armache. Ward 2, anything to report out?
Yes, a couple things. One is there was some concern expressed about by one of the Ward 2 residents about parking happening in the alley that leads off of Parkwood between the corner of 40th Ave and going up to 38th. As you're going up the hill, the alley to the left that's going away from Town Hall. I think there are new residents there that had been parking in the driveway some, and it seems like maybe it has stopped. I was curious, Chief, if you had said anything to them.
Yes, ma'am. My office went to talk to the homeowner yesterday and the day before. It was brought to attention from a couple of citizens.
Great, okay. And the other thing is I had been looking for dates for, well, for one, for Sip and Paint. I'm gonna email everybody, but I'm gonna throw this out there right now. I'm looking at February 11th for Sip and Paint. So I want to see if that seems like that would be a good idea. I was picturing 5 to 7 p.m. That's a Saturday. And then I've been noticing as I walk down by the river, I mean, I've always noticed, but there's so much, it's not, I've seen other places where it's worse, but there's a fair amount of trash down there. And I try to remember sometimes to bring a bag, but I would like to offer to do with the town a mindful walk on Saturday, the morning of February 25th. So I just wanted to throw those out, and that would be gathering at the gazebo, doing a short meditation and a little just gentle movement to warm the body up, then take a walk down together down to the river and along the river and collect trash. And then walk back together. So I will send an email to the commissioners and the town manager and chief. And that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Ward 3, I just want to report out real quick that we are going to do the Black History Program with Comar Manor. It's going to be February 4th. We're trying to wrap up and finalize the program. Hopefully, we get a nice turnout. It will be over at the Comar Manor Community Center. Mayor Casanes has offered to have a Spanish translation there for those who do not speak or understand English. So hopefully we'll get a good turnout, and hopefully you guys can attend or participate. All right, that's it for me. Ward 4, Commissioner Givens, you have anything to report out?
Yes. and I just sent everyone a copy of a bill that was passed in Florida in regards to the same problems that we've been having with this posting stuff in the paper that nobody reads anymore. And I know that Wanda had mentioned that the bill had failed some time ago when they tried it here again. But I would ask, because I wasn't even aware of it, that we as a commission take an opportunity at the next work session to look at something of this, what's the name, of caliber, and then perhaps if we all support it, begin to send out letters to other towns to try to show an overall support to kind of get this to our senators and delegates to get it passed and throughout the state, because it's costing the towns a lot of money and times have changed. Nobody reads the paper anymore. There's other avenues to go about notifying people. I yield back. Thank you.
All right, thank you. At large, Commissioner Yuri, anything to report out?
No, but I do have a question for Public Works. What is the status of the playground? The new equipment?
I will check with him tomorrow. We're supposed to be getting a delivery on the 23rd, but I'll double check with him tomorrow just to make sure nothing changed.
Okay, is that like a complete delivery of everything or is it partial?
As far as I know, they're supposed to get the delivery on the 23rd and it's supposed to be the complete delivery.
Okay, thank you.
But he gets updates every week, so I'll check with him tomorrow just to make sure.
Okay, thank you.
So it's being delivered to them.
Yes, it's been delivered to them. Once they get it, then they can start the installation.
Okay.
That's it for me.
All right. So we do need to go into a closed session. I don't know if there's anyone from the public on the call tonight. So, but I'll ask, are there any public comments real quick? I don't see anyone. So I don't think so. So I'm going to read the statement allowing us to go into a closed session. So. So the statutory authority to go into closed session by the per the state government article 10-508A. It is to discuss the appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, discipline, demotion, compensation, removal, resignation, or performance evaluation of appointees, employees, or officials over whom it has jurisdiction, or any other personnel matter that affects one or more specific individuals. Is there a motion to go into closed session at this time? It's 9:13 p.m.
So moved.
Is there a
Givens.
second?
Givens second.
All in favor, say aye.
Givens, aye.
Young guy.
Yuri, aye.
Wheatley, aye. Motion passes. We are now in closed session at 9:13.
Madam Chair, Madam
Yes.
Chair. You need to
Yes.
state just a little bit more as the basis for closure. You can't just read the statutory provision. You need
It's
to
to
state
discuss a
that,
personnel matter, and I'm not going to go into any more detail.
well, I'm sorry, the law requires you to do that. You need to state, you don't need to state any names or any positions, but you need to state you need to
State
state
what?
more than just the statutory that you're closing based on the statutory provision dealing with personnel.
Well, all I can say is that we're going to be discussing a personnel matter dealing with the staff. I don't know what else you want me to say. Because if I say anything else, I'm going to be revealing what we're talking about and who we're talking about.
Well, you don't want to do that. Could you state whether the person is an officer or an employee? Can you state if this deals with termination or discipline or something specific without divulging who it is and exactly what it is about?
It's to discuss a personnel matter dealing with a Cottage City employees, more than one. And it is not necessarily disciplinary or termination, but is a discussion, I would say, more so in regards to performance.
Okay, I think you said enough. Thank you.
All right, so we need present. We need the commissioners. I believe you already took the vote, so can you pause the recording, please?
Yes.
Can the host kick